If I had gotten him that day, it was game over. I had a friend, as we all do. We always have a friend that we rip and run with.
Dear friends.
Dear friends.
Yeah.
And they're just the most genuine people, right? We go on a deal together. I needed blues. He was getting heroin. He gets me my blues. I give him some money so he can buy some heroin. The next time, I'm running into the same situation. I ask him again. This time it's around Christmas time. Pharmacies are closed earlier. Doctors' offices are closed. People aren't getting scripts written. So there's a shortage of blues. I can't get them anywhere. I call him up. I say, hey, I need you to hit up that same dealer and let's go do what we did last time. So we go, and he's acting all weird in the car. And I took some of the money that I had from Christmas and I tucked it in my underwear. And I had the money that I was going to use to buy the blues in my hand, just in case. I had a gut feeling something was going to go wrong. And so we go to a hood that I wasn't going to pick up typically, and we pull up to the dealer. And my friend, we're in the middle of a very dangerous, and I've been in some dangerous places, but this one was dangerous. And this kid was not like the toughest kid, right? But he was, he had some balls, but he got out of the car. And you don't get out of the car. Like, they come in your car, they come to the window. You don't get out of the car. This kid gets out of the car and walks up to the Project Gate house, like the entryway, the gate. And he's standing there talking to the dealer. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? He comes back to the car, and he's like, he'll be back in a sec. He comes up to the car. He hands me the baggie of the pills. I hand him the money. The last time we did it, my friend goes, shine the light on the baggie, make sure that the pills look good. This time he just drives off, and I found that odd. So immediately I pull out my phone and I look, shine the light, and I look, and they're broken in half leaves. And I look at him and I'm like, you fucker, like, you set me up because you owed that dealer money. So he took my money to pay back his dealer. Luckily for me, I kept some money on the side. So I'm like, well, what do we do now? Let's go pick up some heroin because we're going to do that for you anyway. I gave him what I had. We bought a brick of heroin, which the way they do it in New Jersey and maybe New York, I don't remember, but they do it by bundles. So 10 bags is a bundle. So we bought 50 bags. And I took my heroin. He took his. I sniff it. And he's sniffing it. And then we get back to my house. And as we get back to my house, he pulls a backpack out of the trunk. I'm like, all right, whatever. Go in my basement so my mom doesn't see us. And when we're sitting in the basement, he opens up the backpack and he starts taking out all his supplies. And I look at him and he looks at me and he goes, do you care if I shoot up? And I said, no. I vowed that I would never do heroin. Obviously, at this point I was. But I also said I'd never put a needle in my arm. I had no problem snorting things. I was a chimney. I would snort everything. I said, I will never put a needle in my arm. And I watched this kid that I went to high school with, that I was close with, shoot up in my basement. And I watch it happen, and I'm looking at him as he's starting to fall out, and I'm like, I want to feel that. I want to feel that. And I asked him, do you have another needle? And he said, no. I said, fine, shoot me up with yours. So he does the whole entire process, right? And I'm looking away as he's shooting me up, and then I look, and he shoots me up, and I fall out myself. He picks me up, puts me on the couch in the basement, puts a blanket over me, and that's what I felt, metaphorically and physically, a warm blanket over me. That's what I felt. He puts a blanket over me. The next day I wake up, he's gone. Where'd he go? Start calling him. Not picking up. Over and over and over, he picks up. Yo, where do I go? Where do I get needles? He goes, just go to the pharmacy, go up to the pharmacist, ask him for insulin syringes. I said, okay, fine. I am so strung out at this point. I get in the car and I drive to the CVS that my family had been filling prescriptions for 30 years. Not just my immediate family, but my extended family. And I walk in there and I walk up to the pharmacist and I said, I need insulin syringes. And he looks at me and he knows me and he goes, I can't give you these. I'm like, what do you mean? And my friend told me to say like this, the gauge and all this stuff. And I'm like, I need this. And I start reading it off. And he's like, you need a prescription. And I was like, what? He goes, you can't buy needles here over the counter. CVS is the only pharmacy in the country that you cannot walk into and buy needles over the counter. If I had walked into a Walgreens, into a Rite Aid, into any other pharmacy, I would have walked in there, I would have purchased the needles, no problem, and walked out. I walk out of that CVS that day, I walk back to the car, I'm like, all right, fuck it. And I just continued snorting the heroin that I had, and I got sober 2.5 months later. To me, that was my dad, that was God completely intervening because I know, if I had gotten him that day, it was game over.